Welcome back to Bulgaria and welcome back to Bdin Vidin in our Football Manager 24 Build a Nation save. So last season we completed phase 5 on our journey, which was win the title. Now we move into phase 6, which is to become dominant. Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of our Build a Nation save here in Bulgaria. As the manager of Bdin Vidin, we have reached the end of season 8 and we're back to potentially win the title again. Of course, last time you were here, we were 20 games into the season, we were top of the league. So we're here to find out if we have maintained that. Before we get into that though guys, please do remember that I do stream on a Sunday afternoon. I stream iRacing. I am a keen sim racer, very new to it though. But if you want to come and check it out, I'll be then on from about 2 o'clock in the afternoon till maybe 6, 7. So plenty of time for you to pop in, leave a thumbs up on the screen, on the stream for me. It does really help me out massively. Obviously it's something that I am looking to get more into in terms of the iRacing side of things. But for now, we have got a couple of developments to get into before we get into today's highlights and obviously the live com as well. And it's a couple of transfer outs, so I think we'll start with them. And the first of those outs was Diogo Silva. We have moved him on. He's gone back to Brazil. Obviously, it hasn't really featured for us too many times in the last couple of seasons with the new centre halves that we have brought in. But once upon a time was our record signing for £5,500, I believe it was. 5.75k. He spent 4 years in Bulgaria, played a handful of games for us. It's behind my head, but 73 in total. We have sold him on to Santos for a fee of 1.1 million, which is fantastic. And the other player to leave is the goalkeeper, Patrick Sigurder Gunnarsson. LAFC came in for him. I accepted the bid. I initially thought that it would happen at the end of the season, so we'd have obviously the time to possibly replace Gunnarsson, or whether we promote one of our youth goalkeepers that we've got. We've gone with promoting the youth goalkeeper, obviously because the transfer to LAFC happened immediately. But we got a decent fee for him. He's played 147 games for us. Again, as somebody who we signed on a free transfer, he's been here for 5 years. We sold him for upfront 8 million, potential to be £9 million. So that's a fantastic deal from a Bdin point of view financially. And as I say, we have taken that opportunity to promote one of our goalkeepers. So the next thing that we're going to get into, guys, is what's happened since you were last with us in the league. Of course, there's not any European football because we were knocked out. But yeah, we'll catch up with what's happened in the league since you were last with us. Now, of course, last time out you did see us lose 2-0 to Borussia Dortmund, which brought an end to our European adventure for the season. Quite a poor season in Europe as far as Bdin is concerned. But obviously we need to get back there and hopefully make a better go of it next time. And we started off against Bdin Vidin, where we picked up a 3-1 win away from home. Filip Verhunig has finally started scoring goals. I've changed his role in the tactic. He's no longer playing as a trequartista or a deep lying forward. I've set him to a complete forward, and it's transformed him in terms of his goal scoring ability for us, which is fantastic. So he gives the lead. Marko Tadic did equalise for Bdin Vidin in injury time at the end of the first half before Triantis and McNulty got the 2 goals that saw us ultimately win this game. Another good performance as far as Bdin are concerned. Followed that up at home to CSKA Sofia, and this one was a little bit closer than I would have liked, but again Filip Verhunig has got the only goal of the game. CSKA Sofia were arguably the better team. We've performed better individually. They've performed better as a team, looking at the match stats. But it's a good win. You can see that James Ali Marungu did pick up a injury in this game. He was out for a little while, so we had to sort of improvise with who we played in that defensive midfield role. But yeah, a good win. Followed that up away to Spartak Varna, 4-1 win in this one. Filip Verhunig again with the double, both in the first half. Neverton did get one in the first half for Spartak Varna as well. But Garcia McNulty also on the score sheet for a 3-1 scoreline at half time before David Martican got one right at the death in injury time in the game to make it a 4-1 win. Verhunig picking up the man of the match performance. Again, another great performance. Lokomotiv Sofia came to town next. They came to the Georgi Benkovsky Stadium and unfortunately for them, they did lose 1-0. Again, they've had their chances though, but it was Klimis Sirikos in the 81st minute. We left it a little bit late. Maybe a hangover from the European thing where we're sort of a couple of games we're struggling just a little bit, but Sirikos did get the player of the match. He got the only goal of the game as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And then the slump started, if we can call it a slump, which obviously we'll have a look at in a minute. But Slavia Sofia did take the lead in the 74th minute through Alexander Benchev. Otto Rosengren rescued us in the 82nd minute. Slavia Sofia did have their chances, as you can see from the match stats there. Rosengren did pick up the Man of the Match award though, but it was a poor performance really. Verhoenig's picked up an injury as well. Just as he was starting to find a little bit of form, he's picked up that injury, which is disappointing. It's a disappointing result really. And we compounded that in the next game. Syracuse did give us the lead on the hour mark, but Luis Dylan Parmajobo, of course, who we had on loan when we were in the second tier, scored a double against us in the 81st and 88th minute for a 2-1 win for Septemvri Sofia. We were very, very poor in this game. We have rotated players. You can see we've got Martkan, Toninho Guerrero playing. We've got Umpon Shane in the midfield as well. Bethelsen played up front. A lot of rotation going on. There was a lot of games in a short space of time. And unfortunately, we paid the price for it. Bounced back next time out though against Lokomotiv Plovdiv, and we were absolutely fantastic in this game. Mads Bethelsen with the only goal of the game in the 24th minute. Very, very good performance from the boys. Again, we've sort of rotated the squad just a little bit. A couple of players in there like Bethelsen, Toninho Guerrero playing again as well. But a very good performance from Bdin point of view, and it's a great 3 points. Back that up against Ardakar Jali, Otto Rosengren, Diogo Clement and Garcia McNulty all on the score sheet. Lucas Pellegrini did get one for Ardakar Jali, but we were much the better team in this one. Again, we've got some good performances there. Otto Rosengren, it's going to be a shame to lose him at the end of the season, but I think we've lined a replacement up for him, possibly. Obviously, that's something you'll have to wait and see next season what's going to happen, but a good performance all round from the boys. And we backed that up in the next game. We didn't actually score the goal. It was an own goal from Ivo Tartov against CSK 1948. It was a very, very close, scrappy game, but we have picked up the 3 points, which is what matters. A good performance from Weverton on the right wing-back position. Poor going forward though for Hunix to come back in. Mads Bethelsen, they were both quite poor in this game. CSK Sofia probably feel a little bit hard done to come away with absolutely nothing from this game. A run of 3 draws in a row started then, but obviously some of them were in the cup. But the league one was a very, very disappointing draw to Baro Stare Zagora. They took the lead in the 61st minute through Horacio Zara. Filip Verhoenig scored 20 seconds later to make it 1-1. We did dominate the game, and we were quite annoyed really to drop the points against Baro. Ludogorets were next, away from home, and we started off fantastically well. We were 3-1 up at half-time through Paolo Bernardo and Filip Verhoenig. We couldn't hold on into the second half, and this was the first game that we were without Gunnarsson, and you can see that the goalkeeper that we have gone with is Adam Papp. I think he's the most first-team ready young goalkeeper that we have got at the club. We called him back from his loan, and we've stuck him into the starting lineup. Maitland-Niles did get sent off towards the end of the game, to be honest, at 84th minute at 3-2, and that's probably contributed to Ludogorets managing to get the draw. We played Ludogorets 3 times in 4 games with the cup semi-final, so it was a very difficult period for us, but we've done okay. I'm just disappointed to lose the 2 goals, the 3-1 lead, and drop the points. But into the championship phase now, and our first game was against Ardakar Jali. Diogo Clement, Filip Verhoenig and Klimis Syrikos with the 3 goals. Fantastic 3-0 win for Bdin. A very, very dominant performance against Ardakar Jali. And that brings us up to date in terms of what's happened so far in the league, guys. It's been a great run. We've only lost the 1 game since the winter break. We've drawn 3 of them in the league, so it's been a pretty good run. In terms of how the cup went, we'll just have a quick look at it here. We went away to Ludogorets in the first leg and we drew 3-3. We then, into the second leg, it was 2-2. 2-2 after full time to make it 5-5 on aggregate. We popped up in injury time though. First of all through Danek and Filip Verhoenig to make it 4-2 on the day and a 7-5 aggregate win. So we do go into the final of the cup, and it is against Levski Sofia, who we've definitely had the better of in the last couple of seasons. So hopefully there's going to be a cup win as well this season. So where that leaves us then, guys, so far in the league is you can see that we are at the top. We are 9 points clear of Ludogorets Razgrad, who you can see that they've been a little bit of poor form lately. They've lost a couple of games, which from their point of view is quite disappointing. They have surpassed us in terms of goals. We're nowhere near the 100 goals that we scored last season, but we've only conceded 22. We're so much better defensively this season than we were last season. Obviously, like I say, we're 34 goals shy of where we finished last season. We're never going to get to the 100 this season, but we are back with 4 games remaining because we can become the champions today, and that's hopefully what we're going to do. In terms of the obviously player ratings, we've got Weverton and Nenad Subic, the 2 wing backs up there with the top assists. Gunnarsson still up there as the most clean sheets. He may hold on to that to the end of the season. Weverton with interceptions per 90. In terms of goal scorers, though, we're lacking a little bit behind. We're equal 12th with 10 goals between 3 of our players, which is fantastic. Verhunig just about popping up in joint 19th with 9 now, so he has started to contribute. So that's where we're at, guys. Obviously, we're going to get into the live comms now. And today's game, potentially the first of 2, depending on what happens. We are away to CSKA Sofia, which I think is going to be quite a difficult game. Ludogorets are away to Ardakar Jali, so I think we need just a point, possibly. And if Ludogorets lose, then we are the champions. But this is the lineup that we're going to go with for today. Of course, it is Adam Papp, who's been prematurely promoted to the number 1. 18 years old. I think he's going to be a really, really, really good goalkeeper in the years to come, but he's been thrown into the deep end. We might just keep him there as well next season, start to try bed some of these young players in. Hopefully they can reach their potential, because you can see his potential ability is absolutely astronomical for the young man there. So hopefully he can be the goalkeeper for many, many years to come. Defensive 3 of Triantis, Garcia, McNulty, they're pretty standard. We are promoting Toninho Guerrero to a regular starter now again. He's got bags and bags of potential that we need him to reach. He's a very, very good player. We've got him playing as that libero, which maybe is a bit of a mistake because he's not too good going forward, which obviously the libero does. For now, he's in there. He doesn't enjoy big matches. His passing lets him down a little bit, which is something that we do possibly need to work on, particularly for that libero role. It's his weakest attribute in that position. In fact, we're going to do it. We're going to do it now. There we go. It's done. Yeah, another one who we need to reach his potential. Ali Marungu, again, fantastic player for us this season. Does need to reach that potential though. 21 years old now. Best player at the club, in my opinion. Hopefully he can reach that. On the right wing back today, we're going to be playing Tafizo Umpunshane. Now, he's not naturally a right wing back. He's actually an attacking midfield on the right. But because lack of options, Weverton and Ainsley Maitland-Niles have been picking up injuries and yellow cards and things like that in the last couple of weeks. Umpunshane is going to fill in at that right wing back role. He has played there before. He's unconvincing there. He's makeshift really, but he can do a good job there, and he's played there for the last 2 games and he's done particularly well. Midfield 2 of Danek and Paulo Bernardo, and then up top we've got Clement and Verhunig. And Verhunig, like I say, has started to find his feet, and I think again he's going to be a very, very good player. He's wanted by Saudi. Of course, he's wanted by Saudi. I think he's going to be a very, very good player for us, though, Verhunig. And now I've changed him to that complete forward. He's started to find his feet. So there's the lineup for today's game, guys. Hopefully we can go and pick up the title. So as we come out, we get a very early highlight, 30 seconds on the clock. It's Subic with the throw-in to Garcia McNulty. Comes back to Papp, of course, the young man, in his 3rd game for the club now. Toninho Guerrero feeds it into the midfield, and Paulo Bernardo finds it at Danek. Danek's got runners on the left. Subic is gone. He's stopped. He finds Subic anyway. Subic with a poor touch, and Kolov is able to get back and feeds the ball inside to Berezovsky. Berezovsky gives it to Baramovic. Subic does well to win it back. Feeds it to Diogo Clement. Can he get an effort away? He can. It's a little bit tame, though. And Lucho Garcia claims that one quite comfortably. That would have been a good start for us, though, wouldn't it? We are, of course, keeping an eye on the Arda and Ludogorets score as well. But Subic with his throw-in finds Danek. Turns inside. He's gone backwards more than anything. Ali Marungu now feeds it back to Subic again. Heavily involved so far this game. Garcia McNulty, Ali Marungu. We've gone all the way back to Adam Papp. Gives it into the midfield, and Toninho Guerrero finds Triantis. Triantis needs somebody ahead of him. He's got Umpunshane, who's actually picked up a little bit of an injury on this right-hand side. Good ball in. I've got no idea what actually happened there. I've got no idea what happened. Did the goalkeeper have to make a save there? Or did it hit the post? I'm not quite sure. Corner on the left-hand side to be taken by Umpunshane. Can he pick out a teammate at this near post? It's towards Verhunig, heading up in the air. Danek keeps it alive. Toninho Guerrero, it's a fantastic save by the goalkeeper, who's wrong-footed. Hit with power by Toninho Guerrero. It's gone behind for another corner. We're starting to pile the pressure on now into this, towards the end of this first half. Another good corner towards Triantis, slightly over the top of them, and it's headed clear by the defender, which Danek picks up, feeds it back to Ali Marungu. Gives it to Umpunshane again. Garcia McNulty I think this is, yeah, I knew that was going to be that kind of highlight. Still 0-0 in the other game though, Ardakajali. So as things stand, we just need to go and get a goal. And we are the back-to-back champions of Bulgaria. Into the second half now, guys, and a free kick here. Danik with it. Danik finds the back of the net. Christoph Danik with a fantastic free kick. You don't see too many goals direct from free kicks, I've noticed, in this year's Football Manager. Certainly not from my point of view, but then again, I've never really had the players who've been able to score direct free kicks before. And I think that's our first one of the season. And as that happened, in the exact same minute, Ludogorets take the lead as well. Ronald with the goal for Ludogorets. So it's still 9 points with 9 available as things stand. So we'll be going to another game. Hopefully it doesn't get to that. We need Ardakajali to get the equaliser. Or us to go and score another one. Unpunch Shane with the corner again towards Clement. The goalkeeper's come made a mess of it. Ali Marungu keeps it alive. Paolo Bernardo back to Unpunch Shane. Comes back to Garcia McNulty. I think this is going to be another one of those highlights where it ends prematurely. Triantis, Ali Marungu, Garcia McNulty. We're still going. We're going to go back to Pap again. Gives it to the right hand side and Triantis into Tonino Guerrero. Paolo Bernardo now. Good ball forward towards Diogo Clement. Brings it under. Gets the ball in the back of the net. I think we're going to get a VAR. We are indeed. It was a good take and finish from the Frenchman. Was he onside though? Yes, he was. And it's 2-0 to Bdin. Ardakajali have just equalised in the 80th minute. We could be... Oh no. Ludogorets have taken the lead again. They've taken the lead again. Ushaglov to Berezovsky for CSKA Sofia. They're looking to get something out of this game. We're into injury time now. There's 4 minutes of it. Kolev with the ball in. Deep one. Pap, I think, had that covered, to be honest. But still a good effort from CSKA Sofia point of view. We're looking to go and bag another goal. It's Garcia McNulty. Gives it to Danek, scorer of the first goal. Comes back to Adam Pap again. He's seen a lot of the ball as the sweeper keeper. Feeds it into Tonino Guerrero. Forward towards Clement. Clement's got Verhunig ahead of him. Verhunig with the effort. It's another good save from Lucho Garcia. I don't know if it was offside or not. And that is the full-time whistle, guys. It is 2-0. And I'm assuming that Ludogorets have won their game as well, because we're not getting the animation for us winning the league. Fantastic performance, though. 2-0 win. And just confirmation there, guys, that Ludogorets did win their game 2-1. So it is going to go to another game. We're 9 points clear. We need a single point to become the champions again. And our match is against Levski Sofia in third position. Ludogorets Razgrad have got CSK 1948, but as long as we pick up a draw, it doesn't really matter what Ludogorets do. It is in a week's time, so I'm going to click forward through that week and we'll come back and we'll take on the second game of today's episode, guys. Just quickly, guys, in between the two live comms, we have had the cup final and it was a thumping victory from a Bdin point of view. 6-1 we have won, and as a result we have now entered the Bulgarian Hall of Fame as a manager. We're up to 8th position with 2 domestic divisions and 2 domestic cups. Got a long way to go to catch Ivalio Petov, the Ludogorets manager, but it's just a nice little thing for us to have done. So back to getting towards the second game. Right, guys, welcome back then to the second game of today's episode, where, as we have previously explained, we do just need a point to win the title. Ludogorets are taking on CSKA 1948. We're at home to Levski Sofia, who of course we have just beaten in the cup final. A couple of changes to the lineup. Adam Pap comes back in for this one from the cup final. Of course, he's cup tied, so he couldn't play in the cup final. Hokat played instead. But in the defence, we've got Andrei Martikan, who again is another one who's got loads of potential to fill 19-year-old Czech. Hopefully he's going to get some more games. He's played 15 times for us this season, so he has played some games to try and help him fulfil that potential that he's got. Rodriguez, who we've not seen too much of this season, he's only made 2 appearances off the bench, but he's going to play as the left wing back for us today. The 22-year-old Argentine. He's not great, but it was a needs must type of thing. Possibly one who will move on at the end of the season. Weverton's back on the right hand side. Midfield 3 of Ali Marungu, Bernardo and Rosengren, and then it's the usual front 2 of Clement and Verhunig. So let's go and win the title, guys. So can we go back to back in Bulgaria? And Ali Marungu with the first highlight gets the free kick in towards the back post, and Hervé Andre, who can't keep his header down, unfortunately for us, We'll obviously keep an eye on what's happening in the Ludogorets game as well, but as long as we do what we need to do, it doesn't really matter. Weverton with his throw-in finds Andre. Weverton again, inside to Rodriguez, lets it run. Nuno Moreira comes away with the ball for Levski Sofia. They'll be looking for a little bit of revenge after that cup final humiliation. Ali Munguru commits the foul, but the referee doesn't give it, but we do get the ball back now through Weverton. Feeds it inside to Verhunig. Verhunig, well tackled, but Paulo Bernardo, great ball forward to Diogo Clement, who tucks it away in the bottom corner. We'll get the VAR check, but what a fantastic through ball that was from Paulo Bernardo. It was De Bruyne-esque, let's say. It's been disallowed. Unfortunately, I just want to have a look at that Paulo Bernardo pass forward again, because it's fantastic. What about that for a pass? Unfortunately, Clement was off by a toenail, but it's encouraging signs from a Bdin point of view. 32 minutes on the clock, and Ludogorets are behind to CSK, which again just makes it so much easier for us. Another thing to point out is that the attendance for this game is 4,000 and something. So even in terms of domestic attendances, we're starting to grow. Levski looked dangerous here though. It's Petrillo with the effort. Pap had it covered. It was nowhere near the goal. Yeah, so the domestic attendances are starting to improve as well, which of course is very, very encouraging. We just need, it's a 15,000 stadium. We need to start filling it really, but we're only going to do that by growing. As Verhunig now with the ball, nice touch and turn to get away from the defender. Comes back to Hervé Andre, to Paulo Bernardo. Left hand side he's got Rodriguez, the Argentine, whose effort, he just gives it to the goalkeeper. He just there you go, mate, have the ball. Yeah, that was quite poor. But as things stand, approaching half time, I was going to say we're 10 points clear, but Ludogorets have just equalised, so it's back to the 9 points. Of course, after this game, there's only 6 available, so we would be the champions. Levski coming forward though in this towards the end of this first half. It's Bell with the ball. He's forced all the way back to the goalkeeper Andreev. Feeds it into Ratnik in the midfield. Ratnik, little clip ball over the top towards El Badri. El Badri's in behind us here. Can he put it across for a teammate? He can. Pulls it across for Nuno Moreira, and we're behind, guys. Right on the stroke of half time. Seems to be quite a common thing for us to concede in injury times at the end of the first half. It's whether we switch off or something like that, but that's quite disappointing. We're still in pole position though. Ludogorets do need the win if we lose. Hopefully we can come out better in the second half though. Just about an hour gone now, guys, and I've made a couple of changes. I've brought Sirikos on for Clement, Danek on for Rosengren. Both of them were having a bit of a poor game. We could really do with scoring the equaliser here, though, but it says Levski with the ball. It's a good tackle by Sirikos, but Yodnov does retain possession for Levski. It's Ratnik again. Finds a Mourinho on the right-hand side. Mourinho brings the ball forward. He comes back to Bell, gives it to El Badri. Of course, set up the first goal for Levski. Looking to do it again. And Chalikov has absolutely leathered it wide of the post. And this is getting a little bit nervous now. We could do with either CSK 1948 scoring again or for us to score. Because I know what's going to happen. Ludogorets is going to score in the last 5 minutes of their game. And we're going to end up going to another game. It's not looking good from our point of view, though. We're not playing particularly well here. And Levski do have the opportunity to double their lead, which they have done through Andreas Salazar. This is a little bit of revenge for that cup final humiliation that we've just dished out to Levski. And we're 2-0 down. And now we're relying on Ludogorets not to score another goal. Which they haven't. We are back-to-back champions of Bulgaria, which is huge. It's absolutely massive in terms of Bdin growing their stature in not just Bulgarian football, but European football as well, which is, like I say, is huge, and it's only going to help us attract better players, and it's going to help the nation as a whole, because the better the players we can attract, the better players that we can loan out to the other clubs in Bulgaria. It's absolutely a huge moment for us in the history of this club. We're back-to-back champions of Bulgaria. This just popped up in my news item. Bdin move up the list of record title winners. We're into about 8th place now with 2. Look how far we've got to go to get near the top. CSK Sofia, the extinct version of that of CSK Sofia, 31 league titles. Levski Sofia of 27. Ludogorets have only got 17, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. But if we're probably not going to get there in terms of that. It would be nice if we did. But just to confirm, guys, if we have a look at the championship, we are the champions. Of course we are. And that does, of course, because we've won the cup as well, does mean that the European place is going to go to the league, which I believe comes from the second phase. I can't remember. I can't remember how it works. Do you know what? I'm not really bothered because it doesn't really affect us just yet. I'll be back at the end of the season where we're going to do the end of the season review. We'll have a look at the coefficients for the season and stuff like that, and then we'll wrap up the season, guys. So I'll catch up with you guys again in just a minute. Right, guys, I've made it to the end of the season, and this season I haven't clicked past the end of season review, so we're going to have a look over it and see exactly how some of the players got on. Signing of the season is considered to be Christoph Danek. £60,000 he cost us from Victoria Pleasure. Has had a fantastic season. Cyriak Hockart, who is very much a backup goalkeeper. I've bought him more for the loan farm. I think Pap is going to be better. There is a new goalkeeper coming in next season as well, which we're going to have a look at, and we're going to have to decide which one we're going to go with. And then Subic, who's had a fantastic season as well, £975,000. Adam Pap, of course, 2.9 million he cost us from Pushkash Academy. But I do think he's going to be a fantastic player. In terms of the season results, we are the champions. We actually finished with 82 points from 35 games, which I think we won by... I can't remember. I can't remember how long we won by. We beat Ludogorets on the last day of the season, though, which does help. The top scorer in the league, though, was Diogo Clement. We didn't score as many goals as we did last season, but we have in fact had the best defence in the league, which is obviously a massive achievement for us considering what we were like conceding goals. In terms of the Champions League, it was quite poor. It really was quite poor. I'm not quite sure who won the Champions League. The final hasn't been played yet. It's between Barca and Inter. Our top scorer in that, though, was Clement with 1. Yeah, it's quite difficult when you go straight into the league phase, and these are the kind of teams that you do come up against. The Sesame Kupa in Bulgaria is the FA Cup, basically, and we did win that. That 6-1 final win over Levski Sofia in the final. And then the Charity Shield, we unfortunately lost that on penalties at the beginning of the season to Ludogorets, so denied the treble, but still a very, very good season. In terms of the moments to remember, our biggest win was against Chernomorets Balchik, a 6-0 win in that one. The match to remember is come up as a 4-0 win away to Chernomor Varna. Again, I can't remember that match. I don't know why it's the match to remember. Goal of the season was scored by Klimis Syrikos, though, in the defeat that we had to Septembri Sofia. In terms of finances, we've done very, very well for ourselves. Our sponsorship is the same as last season. Broadcast revenues up slightly. Corporate and hospitality is up slightly. Prize money is massive. We're getting into the group stage of the Champions League. That's instantly 13 million in the bank. Of course, match day's going up as well, with the attendances going up. And some good news, we have completed the purchase of our stadium. Now, we no longer rent the stadium from the council. It's now our stadium. So hopefully that means that we can improve it. We need to start filling it first, though. In terms of merchandise, it's massive, 127,000. And total shirt sales. Danek selling the most shirts. I'm not sure why the E is slightly different on the back of his shirt. So the team of the season, we've got Gunnarsson, Triantis, McNulty and Guerrero as the back four. Weverton, Subic, Ali Marungo is that sort of defensive midfield three. Paulo Bernardo, Danek, Syrikos scrapes in there ahead of Verhunig and, of course, Diogo Clement. In terms of the club awards, Christoph Danek picks up the Fans Player of the Season. Young Player of the Season. It's crazy to think that Syrikos is still considered to be a young player in this squad. He's now made a total of 123 appearances for the club. 23 years old. I don't think he's going to improve anymore, though, unfortunately. He has very much become a squad player, which may be reflected in his next contract if he chooses to sign one. Sign of the season, Christoph Danek. Goal of the season, Syrikos. We've already discussed that. Top goal scorer in all comps was Clement with 18. Most assists came from left wing back, which is Nenad Subic. Player of the matches was Syrikos. Highest average rating for Danek. Most car passes completed for David Martikan, the Czech 19-year-old, who I think, again, is going to be a very good player for us. Record breakers, most clean sheets by a player in the season. Gunnarsson's kept 16 clean sheets, so the new goalkeeper's got a lot to live up to. He's also the highest transfer fee we've received, and the fastest goal, just 12 seconds, from Filip Verhunig. So, of course, we do have one last thing to look at going forward. which is the coefficients. Obviously, I'm going to let the finals of the European competitions play out, and we'll come back and we'll have a look at how the coefficients have gone on for the clubs in Bulgaria this season. Right, guys, let's have a look over the coefficients. The final of the Champions League has just been completed. You can see that Barcelona did win the game over Inter. They actually won it on penalties. But let's have a look at how the nation of... well, in fact, let's have a look at how we as a club got on. So we'll just scroll down to Bulgaria and see exactly how we've got on. We'll get Bulgaria lined up with the top so we can see it. Of course, we started the season in 127th position. We're not quite sure where we're going to go up to just yet in terms of that. We'll find that out at the beginning of next season. We've only gained 7 coefficient points this season, though. I said it was going to be tough for us this season. CSK 1948 look like they're actually going ahead of Ludogorets Razgrad, believe it or not. Ludogorets are falling down the rankings in Bulgaria as a whole. They've had an okay season, still scored 11, but CSK 1948 have scored 20 points, which tends to tell me that they've had a really good season in Europe. In terms of the clubs themselves, though, we'll start off with Ludogorets. They were into the Champions League qualifying path, where they overcame Sturm Graz, got past Rangers as well. Unfortunately, they couldn't get past Basel, which dropped them into Europa League phase, where they have picked up a couple of wins along the way, losses to Utrecht and eventual winners Tottenham. Feyenoord, they did beat Eintracht Frankfurt, Boavista and Sevilla all in a row. Loss to Club Brugge, Ferencváros with a draw there. Got them to the knockout round where they actually beat Atalanta, so they've made it to the round of 16, where unfortunately they were beaten by Dutch side FC Utrecht. So it's still a good season as far as Ludogorets are concerned. Levski Sofia next, and they were in the Conference League. They were in the qualifiers. They beat Tromsø and Trenčín to qualify for the full tournament. Slovan Bratislava and Vlasnia, both wins in that one, followed up by a win against St. Gallen. A loss to AEK, draws with Nice and LASK, got them to the knockout playoff where they did beat Kilmarnock. Unfortunately, they were beaten by Dinamo Kiev in the round of 16. So that's 2 Bulgarian clubs getting to the round of 16s in obviously the Europa League and the Conference League. Not too bad so far. Bdin Vidin, who had a decent season last time out, will get into the Europa League qualifiers where they did overcome Maribor and Sparta Prague. They were beaten by Rapid Vienna, though. And they got to the Conference League phase, where unfortunately they've lost every single one of their games other than a 2-2 draw against Wolfsburg. So not great from Bdin Vidin. And finally, we have CSK 1948, who appear to have been the best team in Europe this season from Bulgaria. They were in the Europa League playoffs. They did get past AEK into the league phase where they beat CFR Cluj, Olympia Ljubljana, Antwerp, draws against PSV Eindhoven and Anderlecht, followed by a draw against Derry City, a win against Fenerbahce, and a loss to Braga. Got them through to the knockout playoff round, where they were drawn against our senior affiliate in Rennes, where they did beat them 4-1 on aggregate. Knocked Feyenoord out as well in the round of 16. They made it to the quarter-final, which is where we got to last season. They were unfortunately beaten 5-0 on aggregate by Eintracht Frankfurt. So CSK 1948, possibly the best team in Bulgaria this season in terms of how things have gone in Europe. What that's done in terms of Bulgaria itself is this season we've scored a 12.4 again, which is exactly the same as Belgium underneath us. It's just 0.2 behind Scotland ahead of us. So we going into next season, we do improve ever so slightly to 53.6. It does look like Belgium are going to be going ahead of us, though, by 0.025 of a coefficient point, which is unfortunate. So we're moving down a spot to 11th place. Of course, we haven't helped that with our poor run in the Champions League. And of course, Bdin as well in the Conference League, where they've only picked up a point. We've got a long way to go, though, if we're going to get anywhere near the top. England massively out in front. They score 25, 27 every season, and we're just about scraping an 11 out of 12. We've still got a low one in there, though, at 7.25. So once that goes, we should move above minimum into 9th place, providing the other Scottish and Belgian teams don't do very well themselves. But it does look like we're going to drop down a place next season, which in terms of the actual European places means that we actually lose that Champions League phase automatic spot. Whether that'll affect us next season or not is a different matter. We'll obviously find out at the next season when if we go into the qualifiers or if we go straight into the league phase. We'll have to wait and see. But we're still at 5 clubs in Europe. Unfortunately, we have dropped that spot, so we could be in qualifiers next season, but we'll have to find out. So that brings a close to Season 8, guys. It's been another fantastic season. We have done the double. We're up to a 56% win ratio as the manager of Bdin now. We're a very, very good team. We've got some great players. Philip Verhunig is considered to be the key player at the club now. We've got Baba Campore, who's a Burkino, who I've signed during the course of this season as a youth player. He's listed as the hot prospect. We're also in the process of upgrading the training facilities and the youth facilities again. So we're looking to keep growing the club, build that reputation, get some more money in the bank, and just keep things rolling. And we'll come back at the start of Season 9 and we'll have a look at the players that we've signed. I can't see there being too many. We have got our budgets. We've got 4.94 million to spend. Obviously, I'm looking at homegrown players in terms of European squads and stuff like that, trying to find some wonder kids now. That's basically where we're at. We're looking for wonder kids. I think we've already got a couple here, but we're looking for wonder kids for the future now. But thank you for watching, guys. Again, Season 8, it's been a good season. We'll be back at the start of Season 9. So until then, I'll see you later.